So there's this famous clip now. Oh my gosh, I'm going to blank on his name. Breitbart, Andrew Breitbart. Maybe you don't know who he is, Drew.
I've heard the name. I know that it's like a website.
You've heard,
Breitbart.
Yes. And Andrew Breitbart was an actual person, and he was one of the first journalists to fight back against like the leftist indoctrination of journalism a decade ago. And what he would do is, there's this famous clip of him where he is ranting, and he died like as a young man. He died like at 40 or something like that. It was really sad. There's this clip of him, and he's detailing the lies of left media, and they're lying about what conservatives believe, calling them racist, doing everything they do, lying and then there's this amazing clip of him, and there's a GIF of it, and you can look it up. Andrew Breitbart, war. And he goes, yeah, you're gonna do all these things, you're gonna do all these things, you're gonna do all this. And he pauses, he looks in the camera, and he goes, war. And that he made it his life's mission to fight this stuff. And he created a whole, right or wrong, I don't know. He created a whole generation of right-leaning journalists who were like, we're not gonna put up with this anymore. And so this is the kind of thing that I'm saying. I am in support of this until this stuff stops, until there is an entire movement within Reformed theology, within Calvinism, to say, we can't talk like this, we can't frame things like this, we can't indoctrinate people like this, we have to treat non-Augustinian Christians a different way.
Make war!
I'm not concerned about the tone of my voice.
War!
Right.
I'm not concerned about the tone of my voice.
Right. Dreams are free, Eric. We're going to be waiting until, where's that skeleton like gif of like in the chair, right? Like that's what we need to throw up here.
Exactly.
Kit, I'm not sure what quote you were talking about earlier today. If you can jog my memory in the comments. But I want to address this, right? Maybe this is what jogged your memory there, Eric.
Yes.
Mayo.
Yes.
I don't know who that is, but I'm glad we are at war with Calvinists. Glad we have your ministry.
Make war!
I don't know if this is said like sarcastically, like, okay, so I'm not at war with Calvinists. I'm at war with the untruth and harm that Calvinism brings to my brothers and sisters and to evangelism and missions. So I do want to speak the truth in love against Calvinism, my Calvinist brothers and sisters. I know that I get irritated at you, and maybe I don't, online and stuff, especially, maybe don't speak as charitably and as kind as I should, and constant work in progress, but I'm not at war with you. I'm saying that if this isn't true, right, and we believe that it isn't, then why shouldn't we be allowed to speak out against it? And that's another thing, right, is Sproul doesn't get any flack for speaking out against semi-Pelagianism and these Arminians who are barely saved and all of that, right? Like, he can talk as much.
He's not being divisive.
Right, right.
I often get the question from Reformed people, or also from Arminian people. They say, this is a debate that we're carrying on here. This is very serious. And they'll say, RC, do you believe that Arminians are Christians? And that's a provocative question when somebody asks me that, and I usually give a provocative answer. I'll say, yes, I do, barely. What I mean by that is that I believe, and I've always taught, that the difference between pure Pelagianism and Reformed theology is the difference between belief and unbelief. The difference between liberalism and evangelicalism is the difference between unbelief and belief. But the historic debate between Arminians and Calvinists, I've always said, was an intramural debate among Christians. And I differ and disagree with Arminians, but I believe that they are Christians, as long as they don't take their theology to what I consider to be their logical conclusion. That's why we say they are Christians, but by a fortuitous or a felicitous inconsistency, a happy inconsistency.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's about, we could continue this, but we're at an hour and a half mark here, and we do want to record another episode, which won't be live, unfortunately. But yeah, so Patrick says war against Calvinism in the sense that the ideas and the untruth of it, not of the people. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of the air.
Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in here real quick, give some closing remarks. So I made this video because it was actually requested. People wanted to see better context of what I was talking about. I made a Facebook post regarding some comments from the Provisionist Perspective, one of their recent episodes on R.C. Sproul. I told people where to find the video, and I said it was towards the end, which it was. Anyway, there was dialogue between Eric and Drew, and Eric was talking about how Breitbart was going to war with the journalists and all this stuff before he passed away, and that's fine. And then he said it was kind of under the same vein, he wanted to go to war with Calvinism, and essentially he wasn't going to change his tone and all this stuff until Calvinists do all this stuff. And they're trying to differentiate between Calvinists and Calvinism, which Drew actually did right after that But I think what they fail to realize is there's a very it's a gray area, because Calvinists are what make up Calvinism. So that being said, if the talk is going to war with just the belief system, okay, whatever. Provisionism, it just proves us every day that it exists to attack Calvinism. I mean, it seems like that's the only thing that it does. So I would just suggest advance a positive position for provisionism, and go after all these other beliefs that are under the umbrella of provisionism. Go after all this stuff. Go after just being biblical on all of that, instead of just holding hands with every single belief system out there, so long as they are against Calvinism. When Calvinists talk about going to war, typically it's either going to war with sin or going to war with culture and all this stuff. And we always focus and stand true on Scripture. I know you guys disagree, and that's fine. But for what it's worth, that's where the context came from. That is where I got my post. I didn't post anything horribly bad or anything. It's just people were upset. They started saying I was out of context. So I went ahead and I used the context that I had, and that's my opinion, and that's how I took it. So look, the biggest thing, and I'll close with this, the biggest thing is the rhetoric of followers. So everyone knows that there's a ton of followers in under the Provisionist umbrella that are highly vitriolic and highly aggressive, and they think they are part of a war. They think they're part of a little war party going out there getting them some Calvinists or something. I don't know. So anyway, that's why I made this video. If you want to continue this conversation, please watch this outro. It's like a minute long or less. And you can join our group, talk to us. You can make posts. There's all different kinds of opinions and beliefs in there. It's kind of a discussion debate group. And I'll leave you with that. Have a great day.